FedEx full, we commanding the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, ain't no need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Command is moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot and admit, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Trying to dance why, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the word, so shit is shit. K-Dot.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. Normally, we do this Friday, 2 p.m., but we just had our head coach speak. We had our offensive coordinator speak and our defensive coordinator speak to the media. So we decided to drop it today. And also, Tress Way re-signed with the team. Always a cause for celebration. So we talk about the press conferences. We talk about Tress Way. We recap the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for saving the world from another Patriots potential dynasty. So we greatly appreciate that. We talk about the game. We talk about the halftime show. Drake Maye, Jaden Daniels, K-Dot had Drake Maye top 3 at one point, potentially.
You had the
maybe,
Patriots winning.
Maybe buys the jersey. Oh, I don't care about that. I told you I wanted the Seahawks to win, so I'm good. And the comment mailbag, as we always do. Before we begin this episode, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do. And K-Dot.
Never thought I'd do this, but I just think at the top of the show, we got to shout out somebody who, when you're out here in these streets, like doing something special, something better than other people are doing, I gotta find you. I gotta make sure that we give you your flowers. Jordan Hudson, troll, beautiful. That T-shirt at the Super Bowl, Rob Kraft, that's just elegant. Did you see it? Do you know what I'm talking?
No,
you know what I'm
I did not see this.
Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's, whatever you want to call her.
Mm-hmm.
Wore a T-shirt from the Rub and Tug place, the Robert Kraft guy. I mean, in a world full of lazy trolls, get yourself a Jordan Hudson. And shit.
Share this shit. We greatly appreciate you guys joining us. And without further ado, let's get into it. So once again, Dan Quinn spoke to the press, spoke to the media, shouted out the Washington Post, also offered his condolences for Sonny Jurgensen and his family and Barry Wilburn and his family. We'd already talked about Sonny real quick on Wilburn, on Barry Wilburn. He is a Super Bowl champion with us in 1987. Got 2 interceptions in that Super Bowl as well. So for those that didn't know, he passed away in a house fire, 62 years old. Thoughts and prayers and condolences to his family. So he talks about that. And then he's also talking about coaching changes, K-Dot, and who's new, what titles change, and then eventually about David Blough a little bit, Daronte Jones a little bit. What did you make of Dan Quinn's words at this press conference?
Dan Quinn, every time he gets in front of a microphone, no sort of sense, reminds me of why I love dude, number one. Like the Washington Post thing, I just think you just to take a moment knowing how crucial moment that is as far as that town goes and what that means, and the fact that like it wasn't that he just said it, he said it with emotion, with conviction, and I don't think that the man has a false bone in his body, period. So like I anytime I'm seeing something like that come from this organization, an organization for the last how many years we've had to experience yacht bitch and just the cold callousness and everything felt so manufactured and bullshit, and like what shitty PR firm did we talk to before we go and do this thing, right? Dan just goes out there with sometimes a sheet of paper and just talks from the fucking heart, and I love it. I'll forever love to do for that, and that's why I think I still think he's the right pick. I mean, outside of the story we heard about Mike Dan, Dan Quinn's our guy, and I like him for it. Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due as far as, like, when he answering all the questions in the sense of, like, the same thing we've been saying for the last few weeks. Regardless of whether you think he's on the hot seat or not hot seat and what inferred the decision, he's taking some shots with this. And, like, he's absolutely ready to take some new ideas and to breathe some new blood into things. And, like, you could also see that while he wants to make sure that they maintain a certain philosophy that they want to have as far as a team, he is still giving these guys the keys to do what they want to do on their perspective side of the football. And like that's still that good balance, at least to me, that Dan Quinn's like still knowing exactly where his role is going to be, and any concern that we might have that he was going to be too involved necessarily with the defense and not doing like the managerial thing, I think that got satiated a bit. But still didn't get an answer to the fucking question I wanted, which is like anything that got told in any of the press conference or any of the media that still why? Like, why'd you pick him in the first place? Still,
You were never going to get the answer to that question.
I
if
know,
you knew
but I
it.
was hoping. But I thought that like maybe somebody would say something they weren't supposed to, and like I'd be able to infer something. I got nothing. I just got more questions. Like it felt like every reporter probably had that question. And were just like, we're not going to get an answer. We're just don't know bother doing.
Yeah. And I mean, he did sort of explain why
I get the
move was
why
made.
now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then he does talk about how Jaden is, and he alludes to this, and then David Blough himself gets into this, where he doesn't even allude to it. I think he straight up says it, K-Dot, that Jaden is going to be under center more, that there is going to be a more balanced attack. There are going to be explosive plays, of course, but that's going to be in the run game. That's going to be off of play action. The play action can also enable Jaden to keep the ball. And so, like, you're getting into the philosophy discussion that was already being discussed, but why he went to it in the first place, yeah, that is still an unknown. Although 2024 was absolutely magical, and I'm glad that we had Cliff Kingsbury over here to ramp Jaden's start to his career. The other thing on Dan Quinn was, so you get that answer over there, and then you eventually, and we'll get to Daronte specifically, but you hear him talk about the many different candidates involved with the defensive coordinator search, and how Daronte Jones did stand out. They met a couple times. It wasn't just one meeting.
Right.
And then, that's it. They hired him. So it wasn't impulsive. It did feel like a due diligence thing, which was really good. And outside of that, I think Dan Quinn did the right things. He did what he was supposed to do, which was say, hey, this is going to be the coaching staff. This is what's changed. And now I'm going to hand it over to David Blough and Daronte Jones, respectively. Any final thoughts on Dan Quinn and his presser?
Why? Just say why. And I'm gonna keep bringing this up because David Blough, the entire press conference with David Blough was just me screaming at my screen.
Okay, cool. Well, so I was thinking about answering it, but I was just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about David Blough.
Look, we knew, like, everybody knew going into this as far as when they made the changes, and you hear everything come out of it. The only, like, this makes sense. The reasons why make sense, right? We want to see more of this. We want to do this. So we got confirmation on the theory that we all had, right? Why?
Yeah. And so let's go ahead and talk about David Blough.
Yeah, let's do that.
And his answers, because maybe we will get into the why as we continue with this. So David Blough then gets to speak to the media for the first time as offensive coordinator. He's asked if he's ready for this. He's younger, right? He's 30 years old. But he talks about his relationship with Jaden and how important that is. He talks about speed and violence were the two words that he was using a lot, and what Dan Quinn envisions for this offense. And of course, the under center stuff. What'd you make of David Blough's presser, K-Dot?
Why? No, David Blough, he did everything I thought he was going to do. Didn't ruffle any feathers, didn't do anything crazy. You still see the boys green. The accent's funny. Seems like, I'm excited to see what he's cooking with. And the only thing, once again, kind of alluding back to my overall theme in this, it makes me think the only two people that wanted that offense were Cliff and Jaden. Nobody else gave a shit. They all want something else. And I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. Because Blough's like, yeah, no, I want to do under center. I want to do this. Like, the reason you want to go under center is you got play action. You can do the run. You can do this. I'm like, yeah, I agree, David. Why? Like, why'd y'all do it in the first place? Like, look, everything was music to my motherfucking ears as far as what it is they want to do offensively. And the thing is, it just feels as though the more you think about it, it seems like there were two camps in the offense, and I don't understand how they got to that point. Is like, you have one camp that wanted to do the complementary football thing and thought that this is the way you're going to progress, right? And allow Jaden to do certain things from under center that allow him to develop better as a quarterback and also protect him to a certain degree. And also, even through the protection, allow him to do maybe some things with his legs under more protection than you would out of pistol or some other stuff. Like, there's some opportunities there. And also, when you look at a personnel thing, if you're going to do that, Ben Sinnott makes a whole hell of a lot more sense to whatever the fuck was going on in Cliff Kingsbury's offense, right? But then the other part of it's like, all right, the shotgun, the stat that everybody was showing on Twitter today, which is like how many times we did drop backs from under center over the last 2 years compared to the rest of the league, and it's like, holy shit, that's insane. What was like 45 to 86 was the next place? Like, that's nuts. It's just philosophically, like, Yeah, I never liked Cliff's offense, just philosophically. So, like, I am all for them making these adjustments, making these changes to it. But I mean, that ends up still being my grand thing is, like, when I'm hearing David Blough talk about it, it's like, if I had heard that from the offensive coordinator back during Dan Quinn, like that would make all the sense in the world to me. And I think that's even what we used to talk about back then is like what we would want in an offense or an offense coordinator for the team in the complementary football sense. So like I know that I know I'm getting held up on that thing that I need to just let go. And I think this is
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
me
let's entertain it then, right?
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
what I would say is because it's on your mind, and I think that this has a direct impact on why we got to David Blough, right? My thinking, K-Dot, because I have thought about this a little bit, is that one, I'm not 100% sold Cliff Kingsbury was choice number one. That's one thing that comes to mind. So maybe he's just somebody that was number 2 or number 3, and that happens, right?
Very possible.
So that's one thing. The other is that it's a quarterback-friendly system, and you have a rookie quarterback, and you know that you're probably going to have a dynamic one. Okay, also makes sense towards Cliff Kingsbury.
Mhm.
I think as we went through the Cliff experience is what I'll call it, not even an experiment. I think once we saw 2024, we're like, oh, this is awesome. We're going to continue doing this. We're going to have, more run because we're going to be ahead in these games, things like that. We didn't quite get ahead in these games because of injuries to the defense, right? And so then you get into a situation where it felt like maybe there wasn't the adjustment that they wanted, and Jaden was getting hurt as well. So I think the second year of information with Cliff, and then seeming like that philosophical disagreement was occurring, right, with the complementary football. And Cliff is like, well, I'm putting up points, so what do you want from me, right? Like, we may not like, you and me may not like how the offense is working, but it is working, to your point, right? Like you said, in these all 22s. So I think that the injuries had a big part to do with this, right? The injuries had a big part to do with this. And therefore we saw that complementary football was not happening when the defense was really banged up. And Jaden was getting hurt at the same time. He would come back, he'd get hurt. He'd come back, he'd get hurt. He'd come back, he'd get hurt. And so I think all of that led to, you know what? Let's go in a different direction. That's what I think, but I don't know.
I appreciate the explanation, and maybe I will be the first to say that maybe once again, we're gonna tombstone this particular topic, right? I'm deading it. We're absolutely deading it. I will say, hearing you talk all that, sound like you just recapped what happened, but still didn't answer my fucking question.
Well, no, the why is the quarterback from the system, and maybe not our first choice.
100%. But that's my thing is like it still to me speaks philosophically like everything went the way that it was supposed to happen with Cliff, and then they decided, all right, we just don't want to do this anymore, and fine, whatever. If that's what it is, and that's just what it is, then I am going to say that if that is the case, then I do. Dan, Adam, all those guys, I look at their long-term plan and I'm saying, hey guys, maybe work on that just a bit. That's all I'm saying. That's all. So that's my only reason I bring it up is in my looking at how much I'm into these guys. Yeah, maybe in more ways than you even think. But I worry about that when I'm thinking about long-term planning. Like when I'm seeing the personnel compared to the system and it feels like there are two diametrically opposed philosophies, it makes me wonder, okay, how do we make sure everybody's on the same page in the building? And that's just me. That's the concern that I have coming out of this, and the reason I probably keep bringing it up. But it could be tabled for now.
Sure. So then, do you think that David Blough, based on what he said, he was echoing a lot of what Dan Quinn was saying in his press conference?
Cliff's the odd man out.
Right. So now, do you think that they are rowing in the same direction, offensive coordinator?
Yeah, no, 100%. But I mean, and that goes. But that's the thing. It goes back to like. That's something that me and you even talked about before the hirings happened, in the sense of like what we would look for is on an offense, or if you have a defensive minded coach, what they would typically want offensively and why they would want it was something we broke down 2.5 years ago. But it's just a given. So like the idea that like, I still don't understand that part of it, but like it's whatever. Like if it took them needing to see it with their own eyes to get to that particular point, then I'm still saying, hey, I'm just a little concerned about your long-term planning. But right now we are rowing in the same direction. It all makes sense. It all makes perfect sense. It didn't make sense, the Cliff Kingsbury offense, compared to what it is you were trying to do from a complementary football standpoint. And I still will go back to, I just think it's important, in my opinion, to keep bringing up. Like once again, I don't love Cliff Kingsbury offense, but I still think he did the job to the best of his abilities, really, the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing that I will always go back to is I do not think Cliff Kingsbury is responsible under any way, shape, or form for Jaden's injuries. Will I say that type of offense probably leaves Jaden open to more injuries? Yeah, but the injuries did not happen in the way that it would usually happen in that offense to leave you exposed as a quarterback. They weren't design runs. And if you look back at some of the plays, he had options to do other shit. And some of it was just, I think, bad luck. I don't like the narrative in any way that, like, I will admit Cliff Kingsbury's offense will make a quarterback more possibly get hurt.
Susceptible.
Susceptible to getting hurt. I just don't think that the way the injuries happened was because of the style of offense that Cliff Kingsbury was running. That's just that to me is just the way that goes now.
Right. No, that's totally reasonable, totally fair. I think the Seattle hit probably rubbed people the wrong way, even though it wasn't technically a design run for Jaden. They even said so after. He wasn't supposed to keep it.
You're not supposed to do that.
Right. But, that is part of the susceptibility of the system, right?
100%.
Right. Okay.
But I think the reason I say it is that going into whatever it is that this offense is becoming, I still need everybody to make sure, from David Blough to the fan base to everybody else, hold Jaden accountable to doing what he's supposed to do on the play to protect himself.
It's year 3, of course. Like, he has to. Yeah. And that's part of the move, right? So when you're under center, when you're planning on running the ball more, right now we only have one running back under contract. And so for those that were unaware of that, right, like, that is something that needs to be noted. It's Bill, right? Bill Krosky-Barrett. And David Blough talks about how there are going to be acquisitions made over there. He talks about how excited he is to work with Terry McLaurin, how excited he is about Laramie Tunsil and his athleticism, what he can do. He's then on with Grant and Danny. I'm, cheating here a little bit because now I'm beyond just the presser. And he's talking about how excited he is about Josh Connerly and his athleticism. So there's a lot to be optimistic about. But when it comes to the press conferences, you can lose them, but how you win them is once you see the results, right? Like, so right now, I would say that he did not in any way lose. He just kept it close to the vest. This is quite similar to Cliff, actually, in his intro presser with us. And he's waiting to unveil all this. He's waiting to work with Jaden. He's waiting to figure out what his pieces are. Once again, one running back under contract. He's already aware of all the contract situations. He's like, we've got 6 wide receivers under contract. I looked it up. I was like, yep, he's right. So he's well aware of all the pieces he has right now. And I'm excited to see how this goes. I do think they're going to be growing pains. But he did not lose the press conference at all, in my estimation, K-Dot.
He didn't Jim Zorn it, and at the end of the day, I mean, he didn't lose it because, like, everything you're saying is like, yeah, he was here, he's in the building. You better fucking know the answer to these questions as a personnel, right? It ain't like you came off the street. So yeah, he just didn't lose it. So, like, I don't think that anybody can listen to that press conference and not. Whatever you felt about him beforehand is probably the same way you feel about him right now. I don't think it necessarily changed anything. It's just going to be the proof is in the pudding.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Any final thoughts here?
I'm excited to see it. When I do hear him talk, it's just I think the thing I'm most excited about is seeing an offense that's more in line with what it is that I'd like to see them do offensively. So that makes me, like, extremely excited.
It's more to the identity of the franchise. I think complementary football is incredibly important. And he also made the note that the teams that made it deep into the postseason, you see them under center, you see them controlling the clock, you see them controlling the game. Like, that is a big part of it. That is not something we were doing. Cliff's offense worked in a different way. And again, 2024, incredibly explosive. And there were injuries in 2025.
Oh, and scaling back that fucking no huddle shit. That fake.
And we'll be scaling back the no huddle shit. Right. So it's going to be a breath of fresh air philosophically. Now, does it work? We will find out. Let's go ahead and talk about Daronte Jones, who comes from the Minnesota Vikings, former pass game coordinator over there. He had half an hour where he got to introduce himself to the media, right? Because he was not with us last season, unlike David Blough. And it was very well received, K-Dot. He came across to me as very thoughtful, very interesting, a very rich history and background, and a very vulnerable one too. I mean, he had talked about, sleeping in his car when he was 23 and at 33, right? And how badly he wanted this and the dues he's paid and how he's taught in high school, in college, in the pros. And it was a very cool listen. He's back home. His family's super excited about that. What did you make of this presser here?
I slept in my car when I was 29. Got me beat. All right. This to me was a slam dunk. This to me, this was awesome. This was so while I would tell you like Blough, you better fucking know the guys that you literally were here with for a while. How the fuck did Daronte Jones know all this shit about all these guys and me? Like he did his homework, and I appreciate it. And also, I mean, he did my favorite thing, which is that he highlighted one person in particular, and you sense the way he was excited about it, Frankie Louvu, and that means something to me. The fact that like you get that high school coach energy from him every once in a while, in the same way that like, look, man, when I used to do my coaching or managerial shit, I used to have a file on every single one of my employees or every single one of the person I was responsible for. Why? Because you got to teach them a little differently. That's the kind of shit I like hearing. Like that, what made me excited about this coaching staff last year or 2 years ago, when especially with Dan Quinn, is that they talk so highly about teaching. And once again, how successful they were, especially going into year 2. You talk about some of the position coaches, some things like that. I'm not sure exactly where it is that it all ended up, but I would tell you right now, I'm hearing better things so far than I have in the sense of what it is I think that they were supposed to be about, which is like that teaching element, that energy element. That what was it? Were you going to be running a 3-4-4-3? It doesn't matter where they line up; it matters where they finish.
Yeah, where they wind up.
Where they wind
Not
up.
How they
right?
line
That's
up, it's how they wind up.
How they wind up.
Great
right?
line.
That's some shit right there, boy. Like, that's what I want. I need some fires lit. And I also, whatever it is that they were trying to do with Frankie Louvu at the beginning of the season, to try to teach him new things or whatever, fuck that noise. He needs to be chaos. And I feel like we're about to get more chaos from Frankie. And when he gets to line up right there next to Bobby and next to, you know who I'm going to say. Who's going to say? Who's the guy? Who's our guy from Ohio State that's going to be lined up next to him, huh?
Caleb Dennis, Sonny Styles.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I will say this. I do think Caleb Downs is a better player. I do. I actually do. I think Caleb Downs. I started diving on Caleb Downs.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, anybody saying that is just a box safety, shut the fuck up.
Oh, he's pretty nice. Sonny Styles nice too. I'm also on the flip side doing my stuff. I'm like, he's good. Ohio State's got some guys, right? Arvell Reese we haven't even touched on.
I like the idea of this team with like Ken Norton on the staff and with what it is I'm saying. I like the strength of it coming from that linebacker and like middle of the field group. I just think to me, when you look at those teams that had the best attitude, it kind of starts there. It kind of starts from that angle, like these angry, nasty motherfuckers, right? And like Louvu started getting that nasty motherfucker tag in 2024, and he just sort of went away. Like I want that back. I need that kind of energy. Also, didn't love Quan Martin getting called out, but maybe I just need to be a little lighter on Quan.
Well, actually, I was really glad Quan was called out. And so
I don't know about you, but that GM tool, first cut.
So we may do an episode on that, but the reason I was excited to hear Quan Martin is more for what he represents, right? Because last season it did not go well, right? He was the target of a lot of I think the worst fans would have been vitriol and stuff like that, but like people were looking for someone to blame, sort of scapegoat, right? Like someone that they just were like, Quan Martin was that player on defense for us. And we talk about personnel, we talk about coaching, right? Just because it didn't go well last year doesn't mean it can't go well this year with the right coaching. 100%. And so that's why I was very pleased when I heard Daronte Jones speak. I will say this, right? I am the same person, hand up. When Joe Witt spoke, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Reflecting on that, right? And that's where I'm getting to, like, you can lose the press conference, but you win later on. What I will say is that the difference here is I really like Daronte getting into all the players, like you talked about. That was something Joe did not do. Joe did a lot more like sayings and isms and things like that. Like this was more, okay, like I like how this player does this thing, right? He even talks about Kane Medrano, where he at least shouts him out, right? Like, so he's done his homework, which I really appreciate. He is also talking about teaching, so he sounds like Dan Quinn from that perspective. Talk about rowing in the same direction, all three of these guys. That's encouraging. I had completely forgotten. I remembered this at one point, but I'd completely forgotten that David Blough and Daronte Jones were in Minnesota together for a year in 2022. He had mentioned that, and I was like, oh, yeah, that is pretty cool. So I'm absolutely excited for Daronte Jones. I think he is going to get the bulk of the free agency money / draft, like important draft picks. Like, I think because we finished 32nd, right? So you have to. So I think he gets to mold the team how he wants to. And based on his ability to communicate with media, I hope that's the same for his players. It seems like it would be. And most importantly, and we begin touching on this, the GM, making sure that he can explain what those traits are that he's looking for to Adam Peters so that Adam Peters can then go out there and get exactly those traits for Daronte. I want him to succeed. We all want him to succeed, K-Dot.
No doubt. Like this is once again because of the way that everything happened last year. I feel as though I have to continue to shoot. I don't think you're attacking anybody. I think that there's probably more vitriol from the fan base overall. But I want to defend Joe Witt for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember me and you were talking last year or before during the offseason before 2024. And it was when we would hear Joe Witt speak, I think the review was this is the season 1 is more about culture install than teaching the system install, right? And
Correct.
and I think if you look at the way the 2024 went, that was a success. That was a smashing success, right? Like as far as the mentality of the team, they played like dogs, right? There was no quitting these dudes. They kept going and what have you. I still like, and I'm on the record. If it was up to me, Joe Witt wouldn't have got fired. Now, whether or not he's your defensive play caller, defensive coordinator is one thing, because I do think that there was some slow stuff when it came to the teaching aspect of stuff. But I still will always say the number one reason anybody has a bad taste in their mouth about anything that's happened with this team, though, this last year. Injuries. I can't stress that enough. But there is no getting around that some of the mistakes over and over again that were happening on defense got to speak that there's some sort of there's some chasm there that needs to be bridged. And Daronte going into this season and talking about the teaching aspect of things a little bit more, it just sounds a little more than what it is that Joe Witt was really talking about season 1. Because I don't really recall, and I don't think anybody really recalls anything that he was saying in the offseason going into year 2. I don't recall anything in particular that I was paying attention to because he was already here, so we weren't really looking at that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the language did change, but at least now it's like, hey, it's more than like when nobody saw about play like a commander as much as they're like, yo, we gotta fucking what's the defense gonna look like, son?
Right.
Like, right? We want something like factual shit.
Yeah. The one thing I was very excited that he mentioned was versatility and being able to use different players in different positions. And his track record suggests that he already kind of knows how to do that. Right, especially coming from Brian Flores. We'll see. He's his own man, right? And this is his opportunity in this defensive coordinator position. And just like for David Blough, this is going to be his first time calling plays in the league, right? So like you don't know until you do, but he does have the resume to suggest that he can know how to, right? And get that versatility out of these players, which I'm excited about, especially a Frankie Louvu. Quan Martin, he had even mentioned, he's like, when we were scouting him, is he a nickel or is he a safety? Mikey Sainristil played some receiver, played some corner, played some safety, right? Like he talks about the versatility of the players. Go ahead, K-Dot.
Yeah, Quan and Mikey might switch positions. I wouldn't be surprised by that, actually.
Maybe. Who knows?
Two things. Number one, I think the biggest takeaway from the Daronte Jones and then comparing it to Blough, kind of like Quinn, I'm shocked he hasn't been a defensive coordinator in the league. They did not sound like somebody who's calling plays for the first time. It just doesn't to me. Now, whether or not proves it, like we talk about, like, but I would say that I am going to be a lot less forgiving with Jones than I am Blough as far as growing pains go, in the sense of the way that you're doing the install or anything. Jones just looked like he'd been around fucking forever, man. He just carries himself in this way that just exudes this level of confidence that like, I'm good with. It just, the know-how seems to be there. There were no questions or anything that he didn't know how to handle it, but just go to a platitude to get through it. The motherfucker knows his shit. Like, so my standard for him is pretty high, but I think the same thing that Dan Quinn probably thought when he was making the calls, like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this going on? Also, just to clean some up, I'm not trying to single out Quan Martin. He could have named any safety, and I would have had the same fucking reaction. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, of course. Just to be clear, I don't think that was... Yeah, I don't think anyone was taking
Will
it
Harris, I would have been like, why the fuck you mention him? Like,
and he mentioned Reeves. He even mentioned Tyler Owens, right? Like, he mentioned these guys.
Tyler Owens is the one that I'm trying to figure out.
If he can make Tyler Owens, like, the size, the athleticism, you talk about young and athletic, which is what he said. You make that work. Oh my goodness. Right.
And Reeves, just special teams guru, man. Just stay there.
One thing of note, and this is me racking my brain. I don't want to be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. He mentioned a lot of players on defense. I don't think he mentioned Daron Payne. It doesn't mean he's not in the plans, but it's just something that I think I remember noting while I was listening to it. Because of how many people he mentioned.
I think because I even think, like, Blough said there were 23 players on contract on offense. And that goes without saying. Like, I think you don't mention Daron Payne. This is where I go back to, I think the dude's savvy. I think he's been around for a while. You say Payne. Oh, did I freeze? Sorry. You say Payne, that opens up a can of worms.
Correct.
I think you say Payne's name, it opens up a can of worms. Yeah. So I think that's calculated.
Cool. So then to be that calm, that calculated, and that fluid in conversation, good for Daronte, man. I mean, he is a clear communicator there. Any final thoughts over here before we move over to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's gonna make me all sad because, like, football is over. We're about to do, like, the post-mortem on the last thing.
I know,
and that's the waiting game, and then listen to you fuckers in the comments just getting crazy. And it's just this is where it starts, man.
Well, everyone's 0-0 now, but we gotta talk about the last game. Yeah, and with that,
hold on, we got one more before that.
Of course we do. Let's talk about Tress Way. Let's talk about the GOAT. Let's talk about the GOAT re-signing over here. So after all the press conferences, just refreshing the Twitter page, and all of a sudden I see he's back. Yep. Tress Way re-signs with the team on a 1-year deal, back for year 13, I want to say. And he's
counting.
I mean, the man's a legend. He makes everyone happy. The moment he was signed, everyone was just like, perfect. We all are in universal agreement. We love Tress Way. So it's awesome that he's back, K-Dot.
Yeah, positions still don't mean shit. I'm sorry. No, it does mean stuff in the football game in which we play. And if you're going to play complimentary football, you need a good punter. No doubt. They should still eliminate the position, but whatever. And he's the best at it. I love him. He's been a great, like, is yours just being a good human being and being a good, like, I mean, I can never say a punter is the face of the franchise. That speaks too lowly about where the franchise is for me to want to do that. But
K-Dot,
as far as just like,
we did it, I think, an entire episode on whether Jaden Daniels should get the number 5 because Tress Way had it. And it was a serious discussion.
I'm not denying that, but I'm still saying when you say those things, it's more indicative of where you've been.
Correct.
And where you are.
Yep.
I'm not denying, like, that's where you are. That's where we were. And Tress Way means a lot to us because of those things. But it is kind of sad that that's what it means.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying as a human being, outside of the football thing, just as a human being, I'd love for him to just always be a part of the fucking team. That energy, and it's just the way he is as a guy, it's just like, I want him to be anything. I'd love him to be a quarterback, running back. I don't give a fuck. I want the dude on the team. He should be our Dom.
You know how sweet that would be?
That would be
if after he retires, he becomes our Dom. So sneaky athletic, apparently. Oh, well, that's the classic white thing. My bad, guys. But that's how
Scrappy.
He's described. Yeah, just name them all now. Hey, he was our only Pro Bowler this year. He did it. He's also one of the best punters in the NFL. State of affairs. Okay, cool. Any final thoughts here before we move to the Super Bowl?
Never go away, Tress. As long as you kick that fucking ball, I don't see any reason why. Why can't he be 60 years old doing this shit? I don't know why. I don't know.
I think if he plays the whole season, which why wouldn't he? I think he moves to 3rd all time in terms of appearances for the franchise.
That's dope.
Yeah. Shout out Tress Way. I think I'll double check that for you guys.
There's just been too many years of guys that we love and are great that just don't have the accolades or the wins or anything like is deserving of them, but more just indicative of how shitty we've been.
Yeah, and Tress has just been awesome the whole time. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the Super Bowl, where the Seattle Seahawks end up winning 29-13. They never trail. It was a bit of a boxing match. Kate and I were talking a little bit beforehand. A really, really good defense of the Seattle Seahawks. A really, really good defense of the New England Patriots that held them to 5 field goals and 1 touchdown, right? Like, so it was a defensive slugfest. Some of you like that. Some of you don't. Kate and I both love that. And Bad Bunny had an awesome halftime show, so we can touch on that as well. K-Dot, your reaction to the game, your thoughts on the game. You had Seattle winning.
That's Seattle winning. But I mean, this was a game that I was clearly on the fence about, and then we're going to talk about why Seattle won the game very decisively. Is probably looking at one person in particular on the New England Patriots offense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know, fucker. It was it was one of those games where because you had the defensive struggle, I think that like you talk to any Patriots fan, I know I was one of the millions that made sure that right after Super Bowl I was as close to Netflix as possible to be able to hear whatever the fuck Bill Simmons was going to come up with about what it is that happened in the game, which was great. It was great. Shout out to Cousin Sal. You held that motherfucker's feet to the fire. Great job, bud. Like there. It was so close, and if you're a Patriots fan or you thought the Patriots were going to win the game, they sucked you in a couple times and thought like, oh, it's right there. It's like they're one Sam Darnold interception away from like doing it. Just never came. Just never showed up. And it's like Mike McDonald, I'll give credit. Mike never strayed from what it is that they've been doing all season long, and it's proven. Like that to me is like how calm and cool he is as far as the head coach just kind of goes through the whole team in that way, man. Like you like Kenneth Walker. I mean, the people were making fun of like I just see the meme today. It was like Kenneth Walker every time he touched the ball, it's just Bad Bunny strolling through. And it's just like some of the slowest. Just nobody on that. I didn't see anybody in Seattle ever feel as though, for a lot of dudes that are kind of unheralded for the most part, nobody seemed as though the moment was too big. Like that, like nobody seemed as though the moment was too big. Sam Darnold included. Like all of these guys just felt as though they were prepared for the moment. It just felt as though as the game went on, it was like, look, man, we don't give a fuck what y'all do. This is inevitable.
Yeah,
what we're doing is inevitable.
They came across as with a little bit of arrogance in that they were like, hey, we actually just played the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We played the LA Rams. I guess we've seen the film on you guys, and we feel pretty comfortable here that we're going to be just fine. Yep. Right. And it looked that way. It looked like one team. It looked like New England's offense was shell shocked, and it looked like Seattle's defense knew what they were about. Right. And you got to give it to Mike McDonald. I mean, we'll get to Drake Maye, obviously, but like Mike McDonald had these guys ready. Right. And Nicky Memori played really well. The mind-blowing stat was Devin Witherspoon, which he could have won MVP, by the way. Like he was so good in this game. He blitzed 21 times during the season. He blitzed 6 times in this game alone. And he was doing swim moves on the left tackle, on the right tackle, on the left guard, on the right guard. He was like a freaking edge rusher. Like they are so well coached. They're so well organized. You hear the mic dump of these guys. They are a proper unit. And if we were half of the Seahawks, defense in the next 2 years, I would be over the moon. Like these guys are so good, so talented. They were the MVP to me. Kenneth Walker was also fantastic. Obviously, you need to gain yards to get points, and he was the best player on offense. But man, that defense was spectacular. Jason Myers did everything he needed to do, hitting all those kicks. Michael Dixon was fantastic. Their kicker or their punter. Like he was pinning them over and over again. Like the special teams was great. The Patriots got thoroughly outcoached. So before we get to the quarterbacks, I just wanted to shout out Mike McDonald because he outcoached the crap out of Mike Vrabel. And I don't know what Mike Vrabel was thinking not going for 2 after they scored the touchdown when it was 19-6. 19-7 just seemed like, I don't think we can get 2 yards on these guys. It was crazy, K-Dot.
I think that that's that dual-edged sword thing. It's the same. Like there are some coaches I know. I've talked to. Who was I talking to about this? I was talking to somebody about this. We were talking about the AFC Championship game and Sean Payton or whatever, and it was maybe it was on the we did that on the show. I mean, we did talk about it on the show, but it was in the sense of like certain guys and the way that they go about things. If they take a chance, like if they go forward and 4th down, if they don't go on a 4th down, I think you've earned it. Even if it doesn't go your way, I'm not going to question it. The thing with Vrabel in those moments is one of the things that we applauded both these coaches and both these franchises for were never being aggressive at any given point in time and trusting what it is their defense was doing and just sticking to the script. I understand that philosophy. Once again, if you're in that moment, I understand wanting to do the other thing, but there are certain things that like some guys just get built-in trust with me. I don't want it to be looked upon as like Mike Vrabel himself, like fuck this over. I got a lot of questions about Josh McDaniels. why aren't you throwing it to the running backs out of the backfield until the fucking fourth quarter when they're blitzing and you could just kind of line up right behind the blitz and maybe that'll help your quarterback out? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I don't get that at all. And like they say, I will give New England's defense played their asses off.
They played well.
They played damn well. So that's why, and that's where I'm like, I give Mike Vrabel a little more credit on one side than on the other side. So like, I liked what I saw. And I will say this. If you really want to go about it, like I didn't look at any all 22, but I've rewatched the game a second time so far. Darnold missed a lot of shit. Darnold could have put this game away a while ago. Like if he really wanted to. So like there were some moments, there was some meat left on the bone. Darnold was still not perfect, but and New England's defense was doing everything they could do. But the one guy that I want to shout out more than anybody on the losing team, Christian Gonzalez is a fucking monster.
He's so good.
He's a monster.
He's so good.
That made me so angry watching that fucking game. You have no idea, bro.
David Blough's brother-in-law.
Yeah, I know.
Gonzalez.
Fucking Gonzalez is a dude. Like that, he's a unit on the defense. I remember even when we talked about early on the season, New England was like looking a little faltering in the beginning. I was like, wait until Christian Gonzalez gets there. You can't say that they have a defense until Gonzalez gets there. The same way I felt about Baltimore. I don't consider Baltimore's defense to be anything until Kyle Hamilton's in the lineup. They're just some guys that you need to be like that. San Francisco, if Fred Warner ain't playing, that ain't the defense. That's not the defense, right? Myles Garrett. There's some like guys like that.
Sure.
But overall, yeah, man, the Seattle, man, just absolute fucking dogs. And to be able to do it, JSN didn't do shit.
Correct. 27 yards. And it's got to be said about Sam Darnold. He went 19 to 38. So this 50% completion. Not good. No. Right? But he did what he needed to do. The 200 yards, the touchdown, he never turned it over. Yes. He didn't turn it over in this game. He didn't turn it over in the NFC Championship game. He didn't turn it over in the NFC Divisional round. And he did not turn it over week 18 when the 1 seed was on the line. When he needed to finally settle down, and he led the league in turnovers, he settled down. He trusted his defense. His post-game presser was tremendous self-awareness. Where he was just like, I just knew if I played a clean game and I could trust my defense, then we would be okay. And he did that. So, I mean, hats off to him. He's a Super Bowl champion.
No, but that's where I go back to it, because I think I did see the stat. I didn't confirm it, but I did see it on Twitter at one point, which was they didn't turn the ball over once this run.
Correct.
Yeah, like
third team ever, I think, or maybe first. Yeah,
I think it was. I think the thing I saw was first, but I even
you're probably right.
But it might be. That to me, but that's where I go back to that Mike McDonald piece in the sense of this entire team looked like they were just ready for it. Like it just felt as though it was inevitable. It just felt inevitable. And also, like, if you want to get into some of the shit that was happening behind the scenes for Boston leading into this, I did not like the Boston money going into this because it just started look. There was some shit happening behind the scenes in that fucking organization and stuff that just did not look good.
Yeah. Now let's go ahead and talk about Drake Maye. This is not initially in relation to Jaden Daniels. This is just your take.
No, but the guy that I was alluding to wasn't Drake Maye.
Oh no, I know that.
Oh.
I was just like, all right, cool. Let's talk about Drake Maye. I've been waiting to talk about Drake Maye. Let's talk about Drake Maye. Well, go ahead. Talk about the Boston money.
No, not the Boston money. I was saying early on, I alluded to there was a guy on offense that you could really talk to, that you could blame for majority of what happened. Will Campbell. I'm looking.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let's talk Will Campbell. I heard something totally different, Kate. I apologize. Go ahead. I got excited about Drake Maye.
I know you want to dunk on me, and I'm gonna try to extend this so you don't.
Go ahead, talk about Will Campbell because it doesn't need to be.
That shit was terrible. I was bad. That was bad. Like, look, we got smoke for Drake Maye. Don't get me wrong. Like, all you gotta do is listen to the corners on the sideline talk about Drake Maye.
You heard the mic.
All you need to know. That's what Drake was doing out there. Okay. Will Campbell got his ass whooped on that football field. Like, to the point at which they legitimately might have to go back to the drawing board. Like, that was a collapse of the most epic proportions. And I shout out to Tarico and Collinsworth for not, like, calling him out. Because that shit could have got ugly quick. And I give Collinsworth even credit on that Maye interception, which was just like, what are you doing?
Oh, I got nothing.
I got nothing, Mike. It's just like, because it was right there. It was right there. He had it, and it was just like, what did you do that for?
One could say he was seeing ghosts.
They weren't ghosts. They were there. Thanks to Will Campbell, they were there. Like, there were no ghosts to be found. This was, if you want to see everything that I gave Drake Maye credit for this season, and remember, I even told everybody that, like, if you watch Drake Maye's games, regardless of what you think about the stat line, early on in the games, they don't look good. He doesn't. No,
you're right. You did say that.
It's just what he's been able to do majority of the season is, like, pull it together at the end and also play mostly shitty opponents. I mean, look, I ain't casting stones. That's the 2024 Washington Commanders, if you really want to look at it. I go back to my thesis. Christian Gonzalez is the motherfucking difference, okay? He's the difference. Look, if you want to buy unders right now, look at what Washington did this year. That's your New England Patriots next year, motherfuckers.
No, I'm not here to disagree with that.
The overachieving team that had the young quarterback. Nobody had a lot of film on, especially because he's going to the new system. And then they have the cupcake of all cupcake schedules. It will not be as good next year, okay? It won't. It can't be. Like, this is what happens on the trends, okay? This is just what it goes down. But Drake, it felt as though this entire season, as much as he was, like, fucking up or whatever, he would get to a point where he'd lock in, and it's almost like that Mike Vrabelness. Like, he just became more serious. He's not making the mistakes as, like, the game goes on, and he got to that point. Mike McDaniel, I keep saying that fucking Mike McDonald. I hate saying McDonald because I don't want to sing McDonald Had a Farm, and I think about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's just a whole fucking thing. God, I'm autistic as shit. At the end of the day, Mike's defense reverted that boy. Okay? He turned him into a boy. Like, it was a Peter Pan shit. And it was like, hey, you were in the MVP running? Isn't that cute? I'm gonna take your soul now. And it was like, Drake's just out there. And then what ends up being so damning is the audio from the game before where he turns to Josh. This is hard. That's not help. Like, I think Seattle saw him like, I'll see that. He got a little bitch in him. Like, we gonna take it from him. And they did. They abused him. Like, it early on in the game, it was like, all right, because if you know Mike's defense, the way he's got to coach it and the communication that's involved on defense, like they got to do, Mike's not drawing up who's coming or like who's doing well on the defensive line. The players are making those decisions.
They decide in real time.
Right. Like,
that's crazy.
Whereas, like, I watched Washington the last few years, and I can tell you exactly what's going to go on. No one.
Yeah, no one knows what's going on in real time. We knew that.
Everybody looking at the Seattle defense like, it's just like, we know one of you's coming. Who's coming? Who's coming this time? And they beat the shit out of him. Like, to a point at which it was like, look, this is a totally different ball game. If, like, Drake had played them once this season and, like, did some shit, this was, I don't think the tape could have ever prepared him for what it is they did. He looked like a second-year quarterback playing in a Super Bowl. Like, that's what he looked like. And that's the thing that I want to make sure that all right, mea culpa, way ahead of my skis as far as, I will say, overall looking at this season, power rankings, because that's what I like to do, power rankings, I still had Drake Maye really high up there. I don't
that's fine, because he had a great season. Yeah.
To me, it's a testament to the Seattle defense. It is an absolute testament to that Seattle defense. They beat the shit out of him. And it's also, when looking at the grand scheme of stuff, a bigger testament to Sean McVay and Mike and Matt Stafford. Those motherfuckers are sick.
Yeah. Yeah. The MVP race became a bit comical as that game continued to go on. The fact that it was that close.
Yeah.
24-23. That's when it became oh no, there is still a difference in class as of right now. Right. Yeah. Drake, young quarterback, had an amazing regular season and got to a Super Bowl. Right. Like, he did what he needed to do to get to the Super Bowl. Now, you had said that he is top 5 for you. Is that still true?
No, can't be.
Okay. You had also said you were going to maybe buy a number 10 jersey. Are you still planning on doing that?
No, but not because of what happened in this game.
Okay, go ahead.
The Boston shit was just funny. Like, it was like, look.
What's the Boston shit?
There were all sorts of stuff. Like, so we had a segment here on the pod about Bill Belichick not making the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Have you gotten any more clarification through what you've heard over the course of the last 2 weeks about why he didn't make it to the Hall of Fame?
Honestly, no, I've not.
Robert motherfucking Kraft. Now, look, I have been. I'm not going to call myself a New England fan, but it was like the only other jersey I ever bought outside of any Commander jersey was a Tom Brady jersey in my life. And the reason being is that Tom won me more money than any other human being in sports has ever won me money. And I love him for that. So I've always appreciated what it is they do. And I'm not somebody that I always hated motherfuckers that just start hating on winners because they're winning. I don't understand that. Like, maybe if you carry yourself a certain way, but I always appreciate the way the Patriots did the shit. I understand their fans can be annoying. I get it. But Massachusetts is a place I go to a lot. The fuckery for me begins with that documentary. The documentary they did a few years back where it was like they were shitting on Bill as best as they possibly could. And then you get the shit that you get that, so you know there's a rift. Of course, there's some sort of rift is happening. Then you get early on in the week, Tom Brady saying he doesn't have anything to root for, or that he needs to be there for the Patriots in that way. And everybody goes scorched earth on Tom Brady. Bill Simmons is doing a segment. Bill Simmons got Bob Cousy. He got Bob Cousy shitting on fucking Tom Brady, dog. Like, he's got, like, Asante Samuel wants smoke. Like, they going after dude. And you start realizing, like, none of these motherfuckers like each other. Bill, Bob, and Tom they don't fuck with each other. You know what? The three guys that are most responsible for the greatest franchise we've seen in professional sports, maybe ever, they can't stand each other. And they are doing everything they can to throw each other on the fucking bus. And when I saw that stuff hit to that peak, I knew they didn't like each other. But when I saw Bob Kraft is doing what he can behind the scenes to make sure the bill doesn't get in, fuck you, man. Like, straight up fuck you. Now, we can get into the politics thing about it, which makes it even a bigger reason why I want Seattle to win this fucking game, and I'm off the Patriots, like, completely. But I don't want that rewarded. I don't want Robert Kraft to reward it. And the thing is, I've been giving Bob Kraft I've been giving him credit for spending more money this fucking offseason than he ever has before as a fucking Patriots owner. And I think the reason he wanted to do it is not to get Drake Maye a championship, was not to even get another championship for himself. It was to be able to do it without Bill. And if that's the reason you're doing it, you're a piece of shit. And fuck you. And that's where I'm at, is that it just felt messy. When you looked at Seattle and their former players, their legends, I don't know who's been – the Marshawn Lynch push over the course of last month is working, all right? The HBO, Nike, motherfuckers doing – he on Amazon every other day with the fucking AI glass. Marshawn getting the push. And I'm loving this shit. Anytime you see anybody from – and they kept the weirdos away. I didn't see Russell Wilson do a goddamn thing. Good. Keep him away. That shit felt good. I'm excited to go to Seattle in a few weeks. Like, that was cool, man. Like, that was a dope thing. Boston was just bad vibes. Bad vibes. And then when you see the line of the game and what people were looking at as far as like what the odds were, and then there was just this push of people over the course of the last few days being like, not only could New England win, they could blow them out. And it was like, all right, that's Bill Simmons getting some.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
But
anyone that was
happening.
thinking Patriots blowout was nuts.
But
I know it was. But yeah, okay, so thank you for all that. I did not know all the politics behind that. That is
I'm
wild.
plugged into Boston.
Clearly. Must be where the top 5 stuff came from.
I ain't gonna lie. I was
I appreciate it. No, by the way, I appreciate this. I appreciate the objectivity, and I always know I can get that from you, so I do appreciate that. Now, going back to the 2024 class, do you still have Drake Maye number 1?
Fuck. Yeah.
I think it's okay to still have it.
I would
but
still
it's
have
hard.
it.
Like,
But here would be my thing. I would say that if I had to rank them right now, I got Drake number 1 in a list that I know is going to change. And I would also say on that list is not indicative of who I would select if I had a franchise.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's not a slam dunk that it would be Drake Maye. Depending on who it is, I had an offense coordinator, what it is my team looked like, I would still want to build that way. Like, in some regards, Caleb Williams might still be my top pick. But I would tell you that if I run across the league, as far as like who my top guy would be, I think Jaden comes out a lot of times too, but I still think Drake Maye probably wins out overall. It would just be a matter of, does a game that bad on a stage that big break you or make you better than you ever have been? And that's going to be something huge going into this next season for Drake. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he learned a hell of a lesson if he learns it.
Oh, and that's the thing. He learned multiple lessons. He turned the ball over 8 times over the course of this postseason. He put together multi-turnover games in 3 out of the 4.
Fuck it.
So,
Can I do this then? I'll do it. I'll just fucking do it.
Yeah, go
God
ahead.
Damn it. If you're comparing the 2 playoff runs, there is no comparison. Drake Daniels is a much better playoff quarterback than anything Drake Maye has ever put up this season. Now, that being said, I do think the competition was a little different on their runs in the playoffs, but you cannot look at what Drake Maye did and what Jaden Daniels did and not think, just based off of what you see, that Jaden Daniels is not a better quarterback. Now, I would counter that in saying I saw what I saw over the course of last year that frustrated the fuck out of me, but if we're looking at playoffs, if we're looking at clutch, if we're looking at that type of shit, I haven't seen Jaden shrink anywhere close to that ever. And especially not when the lights are on.
Yeah. Fair enough. Appreciate that. We all appreciate that. So yeah, because these are growing pains, because when you look at it from the EPA perspective, you've seen all the stats, kid. I know you have. Like, worst postseason run ever. Right. Like, it was really, really difficult for Drake Maye. Now, you factor in the top 5 defenses. Yeah. You have to factor in the top 5 defenses. So you do, but it doesn't have to look that bad. That's the only thing. So we'll see how he grows from it over here. And the 2024 quarterback class is just fun discourse overall. That's what it is right now. Right. These guys are all good. We're going to find out how they continue to progress together. I am of the belief that Jaden's season this past season is the anomaly. And I understand many, many others not thinking so and thinking that, hey, he is going to continuously be hurt. We will see who ends up being right about that. That's why I'm particularly excited about the offense and the direction they're going. If we can protect Jaden, man, oh man, do I think we have something special over here. Right. 100%. So, yeah, so we will see. Any other thoughts on the game itself? Or we haven't talked about Bad Bunny. Floor is yours.
That show was awesome.
It was so
cool. It was fucking awesome. And like, man, I'll tell everybody, like, I'm gonna be objective about this shit. You motherfuckers out here saying it's the best halftime show clearly did not see Prince. So just shut the fuck up. If you say anything better than Prince, so you just don't understand anything. Just shut up. Just jump off a goddamn building. It's just stupid. You're just stupid. God made it rain during Purple Rain. That's all you need to know, you motherfuckers. There's no comparison. Okay? And if anybody ever says anything about enjoying that Black Eyed Peas performance, I might shoot you. I might hunt you down and fucking shoot you. I don't think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube.
This one may not be monetized.
Bad Bunny, yeah. And, I'm not gonna call it out. I think you know what I'm saying. But and I keep touching my head. It's an accident. The Bad Bunny performance was the shit. And what I find hilarious is that right now, I literally heard a congressman say that they are pouring through the tape to see whether or not what he was saying in that foreign language was too rough for FCC waves. Because Lord knows, Spanish is just a bridge too far for everybody in this shit. That we need investigators to figure out, did Bad Bunny break any rules? I heard it was worse than the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. Oh my god, man, fuck. Hey, gringo, shut the fuck up. This was the shit. It was cultured as fuck. Going from the Kendrick show from last year to this one this year, it to me is what the Super Bowl is supposed to be, in the sense of being representative of like the coming together of fucking America. You can't get better than to have all these different cultures being fucking represented, because we're all American, goddammit. And most of you dumb motherfuckers that didn't even realize he was American, you pieces of shit. Like, they would have been the first one. Why aren't the Who playing? We want some good American bands like the Rolling Stones and the Who. They're British, you dumb bitch. Like, I don't get it. Like, you can't hide your racism. And here's the thing. I know I didn't only see it from the gringos. If you out there right now and you're shaded like me on my compatriot here, and you got some bad shit to say about Bad Bunny, shut the fuck up! Uncle Tommy! All right? Shut up! Shut the fuck up. You sound dumb. You sound fucking dumb.
It was an awesome show.
It's great.
And the thing is, for
Maybe
me...
you want to fuck just hips! Hips!
So I would watch halftime shows, and I'm obviously in it for the game. There are a lot of people that end up watching. They want to see the halftime show. They want to see the commercials. The game is a part of it, but it is not it, right? So for me, the halftime show is part of it, but not it. I'm the other side of that. And there have been numerous halftime shows where people have been like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I almost feel like they're saying it because that's what they think they're supposed to say. And I'm like, I think I thought it was fine. Like whatever. This one I actually thought was really, really cool. Having been to Puerto Rico before, like him walking around and showing you just the little flavors of it, I thought was fantastic. It was really cool to see the various celebrities that were also over there. It was very star-studded. They were just dancing at one point. I was like, is that Jessica Alba? And man, does she still look good. I mean, like it was just really festive, really fun. All the flags that were around, like it was great. The wedding was real, right? Like they actually got married, which was so cool. Lady Gaga's over there, Ricky Martin's over there. Like it was just a very fun, festive, and they had the message that love is more powerful than hate. He easily could have turned this into a divisive thing. He did not. He tried to make it as inclusive as possible. There were videos of him outside the stadium continuing to dance, continuing to party with everybody. I just thought it was really, really cool. But
no, I mean, that's awesome. The thing. Like him winning the Grammy, being able to give his political speech there. Trust me, am I a person that wants? I have a wet dream. Well, number one, I would say that every single person involved in that entire thing, from the moment that they put him on through it, I would have sex with any of them. Ricky, any of them, just sexy, all of it. Just throw me in the middle of them. Oh my God. Ah. But the other wet dream that I've always had from a more political stance or viewpoint, I have always hoped every year I get a little part of it, once as the players walk out, all the black players would turn around and just walk back in the tunnel, like a day of the Super Bowl, just say, this is our statement, motherfuckers. Like, so I'm always about raising the stakes as far as that shit goes. I'm always about it. But I also understand the pride that it must feel that you have been so good in your field. It's so good at creating the art that you are that you just want to spread it to the world. And here's the biggest stage you could ever get it on. That to me is like, you want to celebrate that moment. And I get it. He made the political speech that he needs to in the Grammys, and he didn't fucking hold back. Then he gets to be on stage and celebrate culture, celebrate this game, celebrate all of that. And to be able to do both those things, I'm just applauding just where he's at right now. Just, dude, it's fucking awesome. To be able to do what you're doing with no fucking English-speaking songs unless Gaga's doing a fucking appearance. Like, it is dope as shit. And it is just as fucking American as apple pie or baseball, just more flavor.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Very well said. Any final thoughts here, K-Dot, before we move over to the comment mailbag?
I thought Super Bowl was great, man, and I can't wait to go to Boston to just fucking wild. No, not Boston, Seattle. Boston.
I was like, now you're going to Boston.
I might go to Boston just to fuck with them. I used to, the amount of I still got my Alex Rodriguez jersey. You know how many stains are on that motherfucker from just Bostonians just being dicks? I mean, I guess I'm being a dick. I'm wearing the rival colors.
Play the comment mailbag thing.
Yeah, I can do that. Where are you? Here you go.
And now the District Divided comment mailbag.
All right, let's go ahead and begin with Coach Lombard. Shout out Coach Lombard. But the first one being rich people protect rich people. K-Dot, your reaction.
Protect the proletariat.
Here's another one.
Eat the rich.
Props to Sonny Jurgensen.
See, they tried to take me out.
They did. Yeah,
It's his boy, JD.
It's not my boy. Anyway, Coach Lombard goes, props to Sonny Jurgensen. Philly trading him for a couple of bum quarterbacks was one of the worst moves in franchise history. We got ourselves a hell of a QB in Sonny Jurgensen, who was throwing backwards passes before Mahomes could even think of it. Out your reaction.
I mean, yeah,
he wasn't alive. That's why. Right.
Time.
It's a fact's a fact, K-Dot.
I know. I get it. Yeah. Fox News fun fact. No,
that's.
Yeah, man, Sonny's the shit. It's made me sad all week. And then but what's been nice, I was seeing a lot of people have been posting clips of like Redskins Report and a lot of like the George Michael stuff and everything, which is just awesome to me. And especially on a week in which you see the Washington Post get gutted and then being able to kind of relive all that stuff. It's like nostalgia's a motherfucker, man. Like you start, like, you get older, there's a lot of things to be excited about, more things to be depressed about. But it's just it'll just never be that time. We were spoiled rotten. The only thing we didn't have was a winner, but beyond that, we were spoiled rotten.
Indeed, we were. Coach Lombard with another. When I call Ben Sinnott a fullback, I'm referring both to his alignment in front of the running back and to his role as a pure blocker. And I think Shuck's offense will benefit from both. Now, I do believe, reading that it shouldn't read Shuck, but Blough. So I guess autocorrect went to Tyler Shuck instead of David Blough. So, Coach, what are your thoughts on Tyler Shuck is one of my questions for you. And K-Dot, your reaction to the Ben Sinnott comment.
Yes, Ben Sinnott usually lines up to block for running backs like a fullback does. Are you saying that that's all he can do? All I know is that any offenses, I don't like the way that I look at Cliff Kingsbury's offense. You heard me say this on the All-22 going back for a while now. I don't think they have plays for Zach Ertz. I think he does what he wants to. I don't think that this is an offense in which this offense, in my opinion, is designed more than anything else to highlight the quarterback. That's it. that's it. And the tight end can go out there and freelance and do whatever. It ain't the primary thing you want to run out of, period. It's just not, but they got some production out of it. And nobody's really going to shine that offense in that way. But in my opinion, any other thing that they're doing will allow Ben Sinnott to do some things. Now, is Ben Sinnott going to turn into Tony Gonzalez? No, probably not. But, I mean, if he can block well, which he's already proven that he can, and, catch a few balls, if what we've seen so far, which is, Cliff just didn't use him in that way, although the few times that we did see him get used, it looked good. If he's got 300 or 400 yards next season, I think that's a smash success, especially if he's the second tight end.
Right, which he very well could be, because it sounds like we do want a younger pass-catching tight end, which Benson is not really known as, even though he does make some plays. But it is sort of what Coach Lombard's saying, more of the blocking tight end type. That is something, actually, real quick before we continue moving on, that I was curious about, right? Because Adam Peters takes Ben Sinnott in the second round, and seemingly Cliff Kingsbury couldn't be bothered. It was just like, what's this guy doing here? Is sort of what it felt like, right? I don't know if it's a character thing. I doubt it. Or a work ethic thing. I doubt it. Maybe he didn't get it. Okay. But when we talk about communication, it seems like there may have been a miscommunication, right? And we can't have that with second round picks. So go ahead, K-Dot.
That's my long-term planning situation. That's why I keep going back to the why, right? Even the Ben Sinnott pickup, I think we go back and look at that. I want to look and see what my reaction was before and after the Ben Sinnott pickup. Because I will say, it wasn't a fit at all. I liked Ben Sinnott, but it was never a fit.
Well, K-Dot, now sorry to cut you off, but now I'm remembering Adam Peters was he reminds me of Kyle Juszczyk. What the fuck is Kyle Juszczyk gonna do in a Cliff offense? No, seriously, just think about it. That's Kyle Juszczyk. But what is he doing there?
You see what I'm saying? So it's this is why I go back. This is why I keep going back to that question, dog. What were y'all doing?
Agreed.
So I just don't I don't get it. And I also think there's a part of me that thinks Cliff Kingsbury wrote Josh Connolly's name on a piece of paper and left. It just never came the fuck back.
This is why. This is why. Coach Lombard.
What does Cliff want? We don't fucking know. He said Connolly's name. It's the only person he talked about.
Yeah, well, we're just going to take him. He seems mad. Here's Coach Lombard again. Sonny Styles at 7 feels like a reach for me. It would break my heart, but I would sign Nakobe Dean for inside linebacker and avoid that position in the draft. Tight end and middle linebacker tend to be 5-year evals instead of 3-year evals, and AP and DQ don't have that kind of time. K-Dot, your reaction?
I'm not anybody else's timeline, but my timeline on this, and I'm still going back to Dan Quinn and looking at a 5-year overall timeline. I got no hot seat for anybody as far as the way that I'm operating this particular offseason. You will not hear me saying to make choices based on anybody's hot seat. It's what is going to be in the best interest of the team going forward. Also, the Sonny Styles thing, anytime I say Sonny Styles, I am also accompanying Sonny Styles as being we trade back potentially.
Oh, okay. Okay, so not at 7.
That's part of it. It's not. No, here's the thing. Would I pick him at 7? Probably. But the when I pick him at 7, knowing Caleb Downs is still on, it's hard for me to walk into a room and justify that, right? But it's but if you can move back a few slots and Sonny's still there looking top 15-ish, then to me that's I kill for that. In order to be able to get like 2 draft picks and you got Sonny Styles as like one of them, like I think that's a slam dunk in my opinion.
Give me as many blue chippers as we can fucking get.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I'm at. So whoever they identify, I'm good with. For me, my preference is Caleb Downs because based on everything I've seen, based on everything I've read from these guys that just go, this is the best safety I've ever seen. Right? I've been doing this for a long period of time. This is the best safety I've seen. Right? Like
he's up there.
Right. No, what I'm saying is this is what I'm reading.
Oh no, I'm saying I'm saying
so
like watching the tape my damn self. It's up. He's up there.
Yeah, his tackling form is incredible. It sounds like he's organizing the defense, and he himself is versatile. When I think of Daronte Jones, I'm glad we finally heard from these coordinators. When I think about versatility, I do think of Caleb Downs, and so we will see what ends up happening, of course. But if it's Sonny Styles, I've seen him too. Boy's big, boy's fast, boy's physical. Like I'd be pretty pumped too. Tony, shout out Tony, OG.
Hey.
Is Coach Lombard K-Dot's burner account is the question. K-Dot, you want to respond to that?
I have never in my life heard a more rude thing said about me.
I've also seen a photo of Coach Lombard. Coach Lombard is in fact his own person. But it gave me a chuckle.
I felt like that was censorable.
Earl Bruce, maybe I need to start running the comments by you. Earl Bruce goes, Sonny is my favorite quarterback. I saw him accomplish amazing feats and fail because of insufficient defense. 2 thumbs up over there. K-Dot's thinking of something.
When he said Sonny, I thought Sonny Styles. And I was like,
that favorite keeper.
And I think it made me sad for a second, but I went through a range of emotions just in a moment. Yeah, I'm going to miss Sonny.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Legend also on the radio as well. He was just a staple of the franchise for a very, very long period of time. I want to touch on the final little bit that Earl Bruce mentioned here. Saw him fail because of insufficient defense. We need to fix this defense because we have a really, really good quarterback that if we protect, we've seen in the playoffs, can take us places. We need to fix the defense. Cannot have insufficient defense, and only one quarterback wins this Super Bowl a year. And Josh Allen doesn't have one. Lamar doesn't have one. They haven't even been to one, right? Time just flies. So let's get on it. Go ahead, Kay.
That's hilarious. Of that draft class, Darnold is the one that has the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it? But I would also say, just to poke fun, because I came out here with a bunch of knives thinking I was going to have to defend myself like quite a bit about the Drake May.
No, you made the admission, so I was good with it.
Great. I was going to say that was a Booger McFarlane level of incitement that you need a defense.
It just reminds me, Sonny Jurgensen just passed away. I was like, oh, what? Let's think about him. Oh, shit. Fix the defense.
Regardless of who's playing quarterback, fix the defense.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to even fix it that much. Like, I don't think we need this, like, top 5 defense.
Can't wait. I am so much higher on this team than most, man.
I'm pumped for this team.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Sonny Styles is next to Frankie Louisville and Bobby Wagner.
Jordan McGee. Don't forget Jordan McGee.
And Quay Walker and Devin Bush.
Oh, we just signed them
Which
all.
Devin?
We're just a team of linebackers.
I want all of them.
Here is Martin Collins. Shout out. I'm really excited for our OC and DC hires. With our first round, 7th overall pick, I'm liking several defensive players that we could really use to be instant impacts for our defense, in my opinion. Have y'all had any chance to look at any? Also, I would love Max Crosby and or Trey Hendrickson for free agency. And possibly Brandon Ayuk. Thanks. K-Dot, your reaction to the comment.
I'm out on Ayuk. I'm not. So I have started the draft stuff. Finally, have been kind of coming across my purview. I am not getting locked in on defense. That is one thing I think I am going to kind of be away from everybody else on, I think, for the most part. I think everybody is going to get locked on defense. To me, it just depends on kind of who's there. Right now, it feels more defensively led, but I'm telling you right now, if they trade, would you prefer they pick at 7 or trade back?
I'd prefer they trade back.
And that's so like what I want to do is I want to keep an open mind as far as like what's going to be on the field, because I do think it's more important to get, as you said, blue chippers than is anything else. We just need talent, dog. Like if somebody came and told me that like you could go like if Jeremiah Love should be something you think about. Whether or not you do it, I would just hate if somebody doesn't think about it. If you're going to think about it, there are some tight ends in this draft that like Some mad people think it's a reach, but I'm about, if you like the player, go get the player. If you can get the player and then you do your know-how and your knowledge to make sure that somebody else doesn't take the player before you get to take your player, but just take them whenever you need to take them.
Yeah. Take them when you need to take them. I agree. And I am going to be on the side of defense, right? Especially with that first pick. If we're at pick 7, I know some people are excited by some of these wide receivers, by Jeremiah Love as well.
Mm-hmm.
I need someone to quarterback the defense, whether that is sticking to our examples or our players. If it's a Sonny Styles that's going to quarterback the defense, I need a leader, right, on defense. And if it's a younger guy, even better. A blue chipper, that'd be fantastic. I am very strong in my belief that Caleb Downs already is a leader on defense. When they talk about that Ohio State defense with all that talent, they've been talking about Caleb Downs for the longest time.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy. So, like, for me, I've got Jaden on one side of the ball, Caleb Downs on the other. I'm starting to feel real good about the leadership on this team. I'm starting to feel real good about the talent.
It's starting to feel early 2000s Miami-ish around this Ohio State team when it comes to, like, you could go and get Ed
They're
Reed,
all
who
good.
might be the best. You get Ed Reed or Sean Taylor might be the best safeties of all time. But then you're also not kicking. You're not. If you got Jonathan Vilma, are you angry? No.
Right.
So like you could do shit like in that. Yeah,
it's a good comp. That's a good comp.
I just think that's what they. Every once in a while, you just got a team that's end up being a factory of some things. And Ohio State right now in this particular thing is just a factory of things. I did have a quick question. We don't. I'm sure
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you a Mendoza guy?
So.
All right, I'm huge on Mendoza.
Really?
Big time.
How come?
Intangibles.
Of course. Well, that was a dumb question on my part. That's a dumb question on my part. I think he's good. I think he's like going to end up being solid. I don't see him being this like amazing QB, but I see him being solid to good. That's what I see.
There are some people there. It was going around on TikTok for a little bit. I don't see it on TikTok. I see it somewhere else, but some of his former classmates talking about him and like the way he interacted with them in class and in school. I'm a big Mendoza guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, the way that he carries himself with the media, with his teammates, stuff like that, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And to be fair, I have not seen enough of Mendoza to be able to just, I'll walk it back a little bit, to be able to just say solid to good. Like, for all I know, he also has excellent ball placement, excellent anticipation. And if that's the case with those intangibles, he could be incredible.
I'm not as far as excellent. It's up there, though.
Okay, cool. I'll check him out some more. Here is, are you running it back with the Raiders for your side piece team next season?
Brother, you don't know what's going on in this head right now.
Renell Winchester goes, "Hail to the Redskins. I grew up watching Sonny Jurgensen and listening to him. What an example of a football player. Does Bobby Wagner winning Man of the Year or Walter Payton Man of the Year encourage the team to keep him next year? Seems like it might be hard to let him go. Great to see you saying Sonny Styles' name in the mailbag. I'm hoping we pick him up as a future Wagner replacement. He is a great player. I'm hoping that we snag a position coach from the Seahawks, maybe a defensive pass game coordinator like Carl Scott. Fingers crossed. I'm probably asking for a lot. Regardless, let it be an exciting game. 2021 Patriots. Still going with the underdog, though I like the Seahawks more. HTTC. K. Your reaction?
I don't like there was so much wrong in there, and Sonny Styles was also included. Now, outside of that, it's just maybe get a do-over on that one. I understand what the thought process was from that stuff, though. But Clint Kubiak and maybe Jim Schwartz.
Oh, that's interesting. That would potentially turn things around pretty quickly. He's back.
Tight ends.
He's back, bro. He's back. Ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert on K-Dot side piece deep for 2026, 2027. It's if Jim Schwartz is there too.
I can't. They fucked me so
It's the
bad.
Raiders. I know. And I almost picked the Panthers again. Picked the Patriots instead.
I was so shocked that you didn't do the Panthers because that was the year.
It kind of.
This
felt
was
like
the year.
It kind of felt like the year. They made the playoffs. They took the Rams to it.
I feel like everybody like me was like, yeah, they did inroads. Like nobody be surprised. Like yeah, in that division, and then you're just like, no.
I was doing my best to be objective. I had already picked the Commanders to the Super Bowl. I was like, let me be objective about this other one. So here's Coach Lombard, who goes, I'm from New Jersey, but retired in Arizona for the sunshine. Phoenix Open this weekend. I hope you enjoyed the Phoenix Open there, Coach Lombard. So Hopefully that answers the question, Tony. But if not, well, get outs right there. Any thoughts?
Only thing I ever think about Arizona at all. It doesn't like register for me other than like, too old to say it. Fuck.
I just think of the licenses not expiring until 2063.
No, I'm thinking about, have you ever met, I could say this. This is how you say it. Have you ever met an unattractive person who went to ASU?
No.
Yeah, man. Alma mater, not current student. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about alumni. All right? That's what I'm talking about.
Here's real progress in action. What a great
Florida
game
State
after all
2.
that. Okay, great breakdown, guys. I got 2 thumbs up. Here's another from Kuma Time. Ready for Bad Bunny to piss off 60% of America over there. And the final one, Jamal Bibi Shah Bonwi. I don't want the Patriots to win for 2 reasons. They have won too many already, for one.
I hate that.
And even though I like Maye, I don't want him to win a Super Bowl before our Jaden Daniels. K-Dot, your reaction?
Yes, that is the most honest thing that anyone should say. Yes, that's an honest thing. I don't want him to win before Jaden. That is such a perfect, beautiful. I'm not being petty. I am being petty. I'm a hater.
Yeah,
this is like that Kendrick.
But it's honesty.
It's so honest. I love that honesty. Like, that's cool to say. I wanted it for chaos in this offseason, if anything. It keeps the juices flowing. It keeps us a little more argumentative, right? I will forever hate people that just hate teams for winning too much. I don't understand that. I don't like. I like greatness. I do think that there's a certain level of sacrifice. I think they're crazy. I think they're fucking batshit. I don't think that they're well balanced human beings. But I like seeing people push themselves to that limit, because I do think that greatness and what it takes to be great is harder and harder to come by. Maybe more people get opportunities at it, which is good. But I think that what it involves to do the sacrifice to be Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or those guys,
right.
Like, everybody looks at you and like, you don't need to be doing that. That's not a well-balanced person. So like, when I see it, I like to look at, I like to, we should talk about it. We should give those persons a flash for the sacrifice they made to do this thing and do it for our entertainment. And like, I don't understand that. I'll never understand mentality.
Well, I think organizations winning too much, right? Like, the player, I agree, right? You can appreciate an individual's greatness, right? Like, so at a certain point, Tom Brady is breaking records and like trying to establish himself as the greatest of all time. I see people root for that. Like, I get that. Organizations like the New England Patriots, right? And the NFL's around parity. I get people being frustrated that they're already back in a Super Bowl. Right? Like, they're thinking now it's our turn, right? Like, the Patriots finally suck. They had 2 straight decades of excellence. And so, of course it is.
Yeah,
of course it is.
But we are okay with that? Like,
yeah, but it's because of sports. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't, but it's not a trait that I find attractive. It's like jealousy, man. Like, I look at that and I'm like, anytime I saw the Patriots doing that shit, I'm like, I wish I was them. I wish my team did that. I wish my team was competent enough to make that happen. I don't want to be that team. Here's what I say is the difference. I grew up a Yankees fan. If you want to give me shit about being a Yankees fan, especially during that era where they literally just were buying World Series, understood. That is a villainous team. They're just villains. Like, oh, fuck a luxury tax, right? Like, that's some villainous shit. What the Dodgers are trying to, like, that's some villainous shit. I get rooting against that because it kind of goes against it. Even if you want to say, no, I'm not going to give him that because I don't think Spygate was a big deal, honestly. But that, like, I understand. If they're doing it the wrong way, I get it. If they're cheating, I get it. If they're just great, like, and the Patriot way meant something. Like, you had all these malcontents or anything that would show up and then get in line.
Of course.
That's just cool,
but it's this. That was
the fan base.
That was them. Right, of course. It's part of it, right? Like, seeing Patriots fans celebrate when you know how obnoxious Boston fans can be, right? And they had all this success across all their sports, right? In the 2000s, the Bruins, the Red Sox, right? The Celtics, right? They get all that, right? And then the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl and they're treating it as just another Sunday, right? Like, when it would just be the world for so many other fan bases, right? Like, that's I think that's where that comes from. I understand it.
The two worst things that happen in professional sports outside of integration, joking, was the Red Sox winning a pennant and the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. Those are two fan bases that they can't handle it. I get it. They can't handle it. I give Patriots fans more credit than I give Eagles fans, though. But I also think that when it comes to Eagles fans, when it comes to Patriots fans, here's the other thing I don't think people are understanding there for it. You see how sick our fan base is as far as like the traumas that we're dealing with over the course of our lives with this team? I'm 36, about to be 37. The Patriots have been on top of shit since 2001. People have lived their entire lives in that area only knowing one thing.
I know.
Like that, like I can't fathom your whole life success. What? Like, what does that do to someone?
It's a good question. There should be a study on that. This was the show. This was District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode where we talked about the intro press conferences for David Blough and Daronte Jones, along with Dan Quinn speaking about both of them and the team as a whole, state of affairs. Tress Way, the GOAT, re-signing with the team on a one-year deal, the Super Bowl recap, and the common mailbag, as we always do. So before we leave and head out, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
It's not enough to sit on the sidelines. Ahmed and his crew are ruining the world from Epstein Island to what's happening like at your local abortion clinic. All because of him. So you need to take a stand. If you're not using your social media platform,
take a stand. Just
donate,
not on me.
Baby. Like Doctors Without Borders, like they gutted USAID. Nobody's talking about that. 500,000 people are already dead because of that shit. You can fight cocksuckers like the motherfucker sitting right next to me on the screen. You see him? Villain!
No.
Villain!
Not me.
Share this shit.
Not my people.
Share specifically that portion of it.
Don't share that.
And then instead of showing my face, just have his face with my voice overlay. Y'all know
also,
what to do.
We're not doing an episode Friday 2 p.m. This is the episode in lieu of the Friday 2 p.m.
I got that.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.